In this video, we'll look at 10 requests from women that, in my opinion, a man should not fulfill. Of course, this applies if the man wants a stable and peaceful relationship in which the woman respects him and treats him with loyalty. Many of these requests might seem quite harmless to some men at first glance. However, if you follow them and carry them out, there is a high likelihood that problems will arise in the long term. Naturally, it would be much better if you never heard these kinds of requests from a woman at all. But in practice, only a few are that lucky. Before we start the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos about relationships with women. Let's begin with the most straightforward one. Specifically, when a woman asks you for permission to go to a nightclub to celebrate a friend's birthday or just to have fun. In this case, the reason doesn't really matter. Of course, if she's asking for your opinion on whether she should go or not, that's much better than if she simply informs you as a done deal or says nothing at all, which also happens. Either way, I believe it's better to respond to this request with a refusal for obvious reasons. Personally, I'm actually against the concept of prohibitions as such. Ideally, you should try to find a woman whom you don't need to forbid anything or deny requests, simply because such requests won't come up in the first place. When it comes to clubs, you need to understand what holds more priority for her, your peace of mind or her own fleeting desires. If it's the former, she'll understand your position, and the two of you can find a more interesting way to spend that time together. And honestly, she won't lose much by not going to the club. If it's the latter, then maybe you should take a closer look at your relationship from a different perspective. The second request is, let's do it this way. My mom said it's better. There's a significant percentage of women who are heavily influenced by their mothers, and who are ready to follow their advice in almost every matter. And this doesn't always lead to anything good. You need to understand what exactly the issue is. If it has anything to do with your relationship, then you should approach this request with strong skepticism. First of all, because her mother shouldn't be interfering at all when it comes to matters between the two of you. And secondly, the actual content of her mother's advice, if followed, can negatively affect your relationship. That's why you need to have your own head on your shoulders. The third point is various requests from a woman when she is clearly using you without giving anything in return. In other words, it's a one-sided game. This could be something minor that she could easily do herself, or something more serious. For example, you rush to pick her up from a club at her first call and basically act as her free personal driver. Or she uses you as free labor, and the relationship could either be purely nominal or not exist at all. If you're doing favors for a woman when there's not even anything going on between you, then there's a good chance there never will be. In such cases, the woman most likely sees you as a convenient friend she can lean on whenever it suits her. The fourth request is, can I go to Mexico with my girlfriends? Or somewhere else, really. The main point is that it's somewhere far away, sunny, and for a couple of weeks. You need to understand that even if the woman doesn't have any bad intentions when going to such places without you, it can still lead to consequences. Because the atmosphere there is completely different. She might forget she has someone waiting back home. Many men think this is a harmless request and see nothing wrong with it. They justify it by saying that they probably won't be able to join her on the trip anyway due to work. So they figure, at least she should get a break. But from my point of view, by agreeing to this request, a man is really tempting fate. Just like with clubs, traveling abroad should be done together or not at all. The fifth point is various whims or demands from a woman that have no solid justification. These are usually conscious or unconscious manipulations aimed at getting something from you. For example, she might ask you to buy her an expensive piece of jewelry. And if you don't, there are a few possible outcomes. The most common one, of course, is that she gets upset. Many men give in at this stage and agree to the woman's terms, essentially sending the message, If you want me to fulfill your wishes, just act hurt more often. And that's exactly how things will unfold in the relationship moving forward. In other words, the man ends up encouraging behavior that's ultimately undesirable for him. The sixth request. A woman might have a male friend she wants to meet up with, and she asks you to let her go to that meeting. She may say and even sincerely believe that he's just a friend, but there's no guarantee that he sees it the same way. By the way, leave a comment. Would you be friends with a woman without any clear prospects? Setting aside situations where you've known each other since early childhood, I don't think there are many men who would do that. That's why, personally, I would feel extremely uncomfortable knowing that my woman is spending time with a friend. The seventh request. Can my mom stay with us? The reasons for this request can be absolutely anything. The intended length of her stay might sound short, say, a week or two, but no one can guarantee that those 2 weeks won't stretch into 2 months or even longer. And it's unlikely that you'll feel calm and at peace the entire time. In fact, more often it's quite the opposite. Her mother may make various unfounded or petty complaints that can be very irritating. Even if you believe that you have a great relationship with your woman's mother, living near her even for a short time can drastically change things. And as a result, your relationship with your woman may start to deteriorate. The eighth request. Maybe you should think about getting a second job? The reason for this request is obvious. She doesn't think the money you earn from your first job is enough for her needs. Now, if you truly believe that's a valid reason, then sure, you can give it a try. But seriously, you need to understand that working 14-16 hours a day will likely lead to health problems sooner rather than later. And then the money you earned will end up being spent on recovery. A variation of this request is when a woman suggests that you consider switching to a different job. That's a bit better, but if you actually enjoy your current job, are you really ready to start looking for another one just because she said so? The ninth request. To give her your login details for messengers, social media accounts, and so on. Some couples do this nowadays. They give each other access to their accounts or even create a shared one, just to be sure that no unwanted individuals will suddenly start messaging either of them with romantic intentions. But whether it's this kind of request or something similar, you need to understand that this woman might be seeing danger where there is none. This is what's often called being jealous of every little thing. That's the first point. The second point is that if you give her all the access she wants, it probably won't be enough, and she'll likely want to control you even more. For example, she might start demanding to check your phone for texts or contacts she doesn't approve of. In short, things can go pretty far, so it's better not to open that door at all. The next point, a woman might ask to take control of the family budget. I think that in most couples aged 40 and up, this is actually a common approach to managing finances. However, in my opinion, in most cases, this is something that shouldn't be done. A man should manage his own finances. If it's about a shared goal like buying a house, then of course, both should contribute equally to that goal. In conclusion, while some requests may seem harmless on the surface, blindly agreeing to them can slowly erode respect, balance, and stability in a relationship. A healthy partnership is built not on constant compromise, but on mutual understanding, clear boundaries, and shared values. Know when to say no, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. I hope this video helps you to make the right decision. See you in the next video.